Hello and welcome back to another brand new video and a brand new Doctor Who review. Yes, like I done at the start of this year when I reviewed the Three Doctors, I'm now continuing on reviewing the anniversary specials from Doctor Who. So we're now at the 20th anniversary special with the Five Doctors. Let's get into this review. Okay, so I obviously watched this special edition of The Five Doctors, which turns it more into a movie with a runtime of an hour and 20 or 40 odd minutes. 102 minutes in runtime, essentially. Now, this version, according to the back, is a new version of the story with some extended scenes and previously unseen sequences, as well as some new visual effects and stereo soundtrack, and is not intended as a replacement for the original edition of the story. And this is an alternative version which uses state-of-the-art technology to embellish and enlarge one of the greatest Doctor Who adventures ever. And that last line there, saying that it's the greatest Doctor Who adventure out there, it is one of them. I genuinely do enjoy the Five Doctors. I've only ever seen the special edition version of this story. I've never actually seen the non-special edition versions. With the 4 episodes, split into the half-hour parts. I've only ever seen the full movie-length version. Now, this isn't the first time they've done something like this. There do exist some stories that were re-released, re-shown, on BBC that were re-edited into these hour-long movie type stuff, and they were also released like that on certain VHS tapes. So, the story of the Five Doctors basically takes place in two main locations, Gallifrey and the Dead Zone. Basically, the story is a corrupt Time Lord president known as Barusa wants immortality, and in order to get that, you have to enter into the Death Zone and get to Rassilon's tower, decipher the inscription that is in Old Gallifreyan as well, and then you get your wish of immortality. So, in order to get there and be able to use a transmat, he plucks the at that time 5 incarnations of the Doctor out of their time stream. Now, obviously, the first Doctor is a recast because by time of this episode in 1983, unfortunately, William Hartnell had passed away, and the recasted actor whose name is escaping me, I do apologize, does a fantastic job of, capturing the essence of William Hartnell. He's not the original, but he's a decent cast. And unfortunately, not long after this episode's air date, he did pass away in 1984. But he's still a good interpretation of the first Doctor. And then, of course, we have Patrick Troughton as the second Doctor with Brigadier. They brought in Nicholas Courtney back to be his on-screen companion. They also brought back Carole Ann Ford, who played Susan Foreman. She's back to be paired up with the first Doctor. They also bring back Jon Pertwee and pair him up with, obviously, the more iconic Liz Slayton, Sarah Jane Smith. And then we do see the fourth Doctor, but that's actually reused scenes from the cut episode Shada, because Tom Baker unfortunately did not come back for this story, but they used archival footage from that cut episode Shada to insinuate that he was there, that it deserved the title The Five Doctors. And then, of course, we had the current Doctor at the time, Peter Davison, with his two companions, Turlough and Tegan Travanka. So, Barusa is picking out the Doctors from their different time streams. The fourth Doctor gets lost in the time vortex. and they all end up on the dead zone. Now on Gallifrey, they obviously know that some of this is going on, and they rope in the current master at that time. I believe it was Anthony Ainley. I could be wrong. Um, I apologize if I've got that actor's name wrong. But they send him to help the Doctor. He first meets up with the third Doctor. He shows the seal of Gallifrey. The Doctor confiscates that, not believing that he's there to help him. And, they keep going. Bessie's also there. One of the Doctor's many modes of transportation when he was earthbound in his era, and she gets out of commission, and they end up going on foot. And as well, not only that is the Master there, the more prominent one featured is the Cybermen. I love these versions of the Cybermen. These are my personal favorite Cybermen design, also known as the Earthshock design that was used for quite a while. And then when the first Doctor runs into Susan, they also run into a Dalek, and they use their cunning sense to essentially make it fire upon itself and destroy itself. And then, of course, the second Doctor is with uh, the Brigadier, and they're all heading towards the tower, Rassilon's tower. And eventually they all make it there except for the fifth Doctor. He gets transmatted back to Gallifrey, where after some ploys happen where Barusa frames the Castanan, uh, the Doctor finds Barusa's hidden room, and he gets mind controlled, and they all head to the tower after the first, second, and third Doctor get there. Whilst the first and second Doctor are also going through this tower, they they see some former companions. The third Doctor sees Mike Yates as well as Liz Shaw, but they're obviously figments of imagination designed to spook the Doctor out. And the second Doctor sees Jamie and Victoria. He quickly deduces that they're figments of his imagination because the Time Lords wipe their memories of him at the end of the War Games. And so they're all there. They figure out what's going on. Barusa and the Doctor shows up. The Doctors use contact to essentially free the fifth Doctor, and that's when we hear the current incarnation of Rassilon at that time. And Barusa gets what's coming to him. He's given his immortality, which is just being put on his face put on Rassilon's tomb, or his coffin, so to speak. And then the Doctor is immediately granted with the right to be president. And like with the last time, he decides to run from that. And as he quotes at the end of the episode, sure, that's how it all began. And credits roll. So yeah, I genuinely do like this episode, but I feel the three Doctors, the 10th anniversary special is a lot better than the 20th anniversary special. Now, don't get me wrong, this 20th anniversary special is amazing. Getting to see Jon Pertwee, Patrick Troughton interact with Peter Davison. Like I said, the new actor who filled in for the first Doctor done a pretty good job as the Doctor. Is amazing seeing Caroline Ford in this story because I think this is her last on-screen appearance. I know in Big Finish they have this big huge thing with her in Big Finish. It was also nice seeing the Brigadier. He will make a few more appearances. I think after this story, I could be wrong. I think it might just be Battlefield. Someone can correct me in the comments. And it was also nice again, seeing Liz Slayton back as Sarah, because of course they needed to pair the third Doctor up with a companion, and who better to do it than probably one of the most beloved companions in Doctor Who, Sarah Jane Smith. It was also nice, even though they were figments of they were illusions, it was nice seeing, Mike Yates and Liz Shaw, because I think this is her first time being seen since her departure from the show. And then, of course, seeing Jamie and Victoria again. Now, we will see Jamie again, in the Two Doctors, but it was also nice to see him here because, again, he hasn't been seen in the show since War Games. And yeah, it as a anniversary special, it does what it's meant to do. It's there to celebrate the past 20 years of the show, and it does. We have Daleks, we have Cybermen, we have the Master, we have multiple Doctors in one story and multiple companions. What's not to love about this? And it, like I said, it's amazing. I genuinely do love it, but I do prefer the Three Doctors more because I think the Doctors have a lot more chemistry in that between Pat Troutman and John Pertwee. As throughout the vast majority of this story, the Doctors are split up. We don't really see them really interacting with each other. We see the first and the fifth Doctor interact for a good bit, and then we don't see any more interactions until they get to the top of the tower with the first, third, and second Doctor do interact, but it's not in the same way as how we see it in the Three Doctors. But that doesn't deter this story from being a fantastic story that, if you have not seen, highly recommend watching it for the since we are now 6 months away from the 60th anniversary. So with that being said, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. It'll be another while before I tackle the 50th anniversary, which I plan to do in around September. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you all on the next Doctor Who review, which should be my Series 5 review, which I still have yet to continue watching. I'm filming this in April, by the way. So yeah, I'll catch you all next time.